Namaste and good morning.
Good morning.
Just good morning. Just took some time for arranging my stand. So I have got an news or something like we have up till tomorrow the classes. So tomorrow will be our last class. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So tomorrow will be the last class for your course. Okay.
Will you be, sorry, will you be the teacher for the next class from October?
That I don't know about the future.
All right.
So in the October, maybe, yeah, they need, I will be there from the October as well. Yes.
Okay.
So, but tomorrow I have just asked them. So when is the last date? The management told like 23rd. So 24th is the last day of 200 hours. And for 300 hours, it is 28. So the classes timing will be till 23rd. For me, at least I know.
Okay.
We will start directly with the new system today and we will chant Om one time before. So keep your eyes closed and chant Om one time. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much. We will just revise about the yesterday's muscular system first, and today we will start with the new system. In short, we will see about the circulatory system as well. So, about the major muscles, the terms used to define or to name the major muscles that we have seen yesterday, depending upon the size, shape, about the fibers and the origins, and also we have studied what exactly the origin and insertion means and how it helps for the muscles. Today we will start with the circulatory system, but just would like to ask, what are the major muscles in our body? Do we know the major muscles at least in our body? That means we will just define that major muscles. So the muscles which we have written yesterday, like sternocleidomastoid muscle, which allows our neck to move. That is what this sternocleidomastoid muscle, if you have seen in your notes yesterday, you will find that muscle located in our neck. The second, the major group of muscles in our trunk. If we will talk about the major group of muscle in our trunk, that is in our chest, is the pectoralis major muscle group. So the pectoralis major muscle group will be engaged when we flex our arm from our shoulder, like in front, the pectoralis major muscle will get engaged in the flexion of the arm. Similarly, we have the back muscle in the center in a trapezius shape. That muscle is known as trapezius muscle. So in the shape of trapezium, we have the center muscle in our back, in our middle back and upper back. That muscle will be trapezium in shape, known as trapezius muscle. Write it down side by side while I am dictating. The muscles found on our abdomen. The muscles which are found on the abdomen are known as the abdominis muscles or rectus abdomen muscle. You will see in this yesterday's note where we have written the straight muscles on our abdomen. The muscles which are found at the side of the abdomen are known as obliques, which are diagonally in shape. The muscles found on our back at the lateral side, not in the midsection now. And the lateral side of our back are mostly latissimus dorsi muscles. The muscles which are found at the lateral side of the back are known as latissimus dorsi muscles. So these we have defined yesterday as only latissimus muscles. Actual name latissimus dorsi muscles at the back and the lateral side, just behind the oblique at both the sides. Similarly, these are the major muscles group you found in your trunk. Now, in our arm and the front head on our brachii muscles, our upper arm, you will find the muscle, the biceps. Then, with the two heads or the two origins, then at the back of our arm, you will find the muscle triceps. Biceps and triceps muscles are agonist and antagonist. That means when the one muscle gets contracted, other gets extended. For example, we contract the bicep, the tricep will get extended. If we contract the tricep, how to contract the tricep? By just straight your arms or extend your arm. That is, you contract your tricep when you extend your bicep that time. So these two muscles are agonist, we say, and antagonist type of muscles. So one get contract, the other get extend. Now, respectively, the muscles we do find in our leg on the top of our thighs. What muscles do we find? Can you tell me?
On the back of our leg, it's a hamstring.
And at the top of our leg? Your voice not audible. Quadriceps. So on the top of our leg, quadriceps, and at the back of our leg, hamstrings. Similarly, in the front of our leg on our shin, we have the tibialis anterior muscle. Along with that, we have the soleus and peroneus muscles in the front of our shin. But at the back of our leg, lower leg, I am speaking about the lower leg, the shin and the calf. So on our calf, two muscles, gastrocnemius muscles, are being found on our calf. Like this, we have the major group of muscles we found in our whole body, which we have already named or defined yesterday as well. Today, we're going to start with a new system and have a look about the cardiovascular and circulatory system in short. And we will see and revise the rest of the things in your last class tomorrow. Now, what is the cardiovascular system? About the heart. This is what the cardiovascular system about our heart. So what does it do, the cardiovascular system or the circulatory system?
Pumps the blood throughout the body.
Circulates the blood throughout the body. Yes. So this cardiovascular system do circulate the pure form of the blood or the impure form of the blood. It also does carry from the body, and it also circulates the pure form, that means the oxygenated form of the blood throughout the body. Yes. So what are exactly the functions of this cardiovascular system depending upon the heart? Cardiac muscle, cardio means the cardiac muscle, about the system of the heart. This is what cardiovascular system, only through the heart. Now, here to speak about the function of it, There are only three defined functions, three main functions of cardiovascular system. What are those three main functions? That is the first one, transport. Then we have the protection. And we do have the regulation, that are the functions of the cardiovascular system. Now we will see what is this exact means: transport, regulation, and protection. Namaste and good morning, Rekha. We have a new student again I see today. So to speak about good morning. To speak about the cardiovascular system, the transport. What does this heart transport? The cardiac muscle, our nutrients, our gases in our body, that is vayu, this prana in the subtle body, but here we have different kinds of gases with the oxygen and the carbon dioxide as well present in the blood cells, and the waste material. So to provide the nutrients from the food to each and every cell in our body, to regulate or to transport of the gases and the waste material from the body is also been done with the help of cardiovascular system or the cardiac muscle. Here also this cardiovascular system is helpful for protection. So what kind of protection does it help? It does help from the protection from the infection we have and the loss of blood. So when we have the infection, the cardiovascular system will be helpful to fight against these infections. And if we have loss of blood by transporting these nutrients, gases, and the waste products, it will also help to protect our body from the blood loss. Regulation. The third function. How does it regulate, or what does it regulate basically throughout our body? The temperature. So our heat in our body is being regulated by this cardiovascular system. Whenever we have the temperature regulation, it is being done and regulated with the help of only cardiovascular system throughout the body. So we have with all the blood vessels inside our muscles. In muscular system also we have said regulation of the heat, but in that muscular system there are these blood vessels, and if we do any kind of activity, that means we regulate that heat in our body with the help of this cardiovascular blood vessels. So basically we have the transport of the nutrients, gases, air, and waste products. The protection from the infection and blood loss, as well as the regulation of the temperature is being done. These are the three main functions of the cardiovascular system. Okay, now this cardiovascular system, following these three functions, has three main parts. But what are the three main parts of the cardiovascular system? Basically, cardiovascular system made up of only three parts. What are that? Our heart, then our blood, and our blood vessels. Only three main parts this cardiovascular system is made up of. That means our heart, our blood, and the blood vessels. I will erase this. I hope you have written down or taken.
Yes, we do.
So to speak about the first part, three main parts, that is the heart, then we have the blood vessel, and we do have the blood. In this cardiovascular system, the three main parts only. So first, to speak about the heart. How much is the size of our heart? Do we know the size of the heart? Can you tell me?
This right.
This size, yes. And where is it located exactly? Location?
Towards right.
Right or left?
Left, right.
Yes. So we have this cardiovascular muscle, that is our heart, exactly in the center actually. Actually, it is in the center, but it is slightly tilted, like we tilt our neck to each one of the side. It is slightly our heart muscle located in the center, slightly tilted to the left side, to the left side, a slight tilt. So our left lung is smaller than the right lung. When we see in the respiratory system, you have drawn the heart in the respiratory system. There you will check where you have drawn the heart in your previous diagram, maybe in the last week, where this heart has these four chambers. Heart has these four chambers, and there are two chambers above and two chambers below. Here, if this is the heart, for example, then I will divide this heart into these two chambers. Those chambers, I will define them as, so the upper chamber are known as atrium, and the lower chambers are known as ventricle. So here I will make a blue section. These are known as atrium, and the lower chambers are known as ventricle. In our heart, so there are four chambers, two up and two at the down. So this is, there are 1, 2 here as well, 3, 4. What does it mean, these atriums and ventricles, that we see now? So like this, in our heart as well, we have the two upper chambers, which are known as atriums, and the two lower chambers known as ventricles, where atriums are known as receiving chambers. I repeat, atriums are known as receiving chambers. That means whatever the transport of the blood which will take place from the body and from the lungs, that will be received by the atriums of the heart. Whatever the pure form of the oxygen or the oxygenated blood or any form of the blood carried from the body or from the lung will be received by the arterium. So arteriums, I hope you have drawn this diagram, are known as receiving chamber. I will write over here. And the ventricles are said to be as discharging chambers. So whatever form of the blood from the heart which will be given to each or transported to each part of our body or to the organ lungs to convert it into pure form. So discharge of the blood from the heart is being done by the ventricles. Okay, arterium receives, ventricles discharge or give it back. Okay, cleared. Making it simple, these two terms. So these two chambers here, these are discharging chambers, the lower part of the heart. These two, where these two chambers are receiving chambers, means the blood goes in from here, the blood goes out from below. Clear up till here? Okay, we will proceed further now in this much, that is our heart. After the second part, so we have seen the three main parts. The first part was heart, and these are the four chambers where two arteries and two ventricles. Now the second main part, that are the blood vessels. Write down. So the first one was heart. Now the second one, the blood vessels. In these blood vessels, in its blood vessels, what are these blood vessels? Which kind of blood vessels do this cardiovascular system contains? This cardiovascular system contains the arteries, veins, and capillaries. So write down here these three blood vessels, that are the arteries, veins, and capillaries. The arteries, veins, and capillaries. Now, the spelling mistake is done. Just try to correct the spelling here. What are these arteries, veins, and capillaries? How will you define these blood vessels? So we have seen already heart. Do we know about what are arteries and what are the veins? Have you heard about it yet, Magda?
Yes, our arteries are transporting oxygen to heart, and veins, transporting oxygen to all the blood cells, and veins are transporting back to heart.
Does it transport oxygen or the blood?
Blood with oxygen, yes. Blood, of course, blood with oxygen. But oxygenated blood, yes.
Yes. So arteries are what? Which carries oxygenated form of the blood from the heart to the tissues of our body or to the body. So arteries here I will write, which carries the oxygenated blood from where? From heart to the body. About all the arteries except pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery does not carry the oxygenated blood. We will see about pulmonary artery later. But all the arteries carry oxygenated blood from the heart to the body. Similarly, what and how will we define this veins? It will carry the deoxygenated blood from the body to the heart. So, the veins carry the deoxygenated blood. What does this mean, deoxygenated blood? The blood which does not contain oxygen from the body to the heart are known as veins. Except pulmonary vein, again I am saying here, except pulmonary vein, all the rest of the veins in our body carry deoxygenated blood from the body to the heart. Except pulmonary artery, all the arteries in our body carry the oxygenated blood from the heart to the body. But what are these capillaries? Capillaries are which contains or which connects the tiny blood vessels. They are actually called, which are connecting our arteries and veins. So it connects our arteries and veins. There are a number of capillaries around our lungs. In the respiratory system, if we have studied about the alveoli, so what happens in the alveoli? The exchange of gases happens in the alveoli, which are being transported by this cardiovascular system. So when the oxygen reaches the alveoli in the respiratory system inside the lungs, around the lungs we have this number of capillaries which connects the arteries and veins. That means it takes the carbon dioxide from the blood vessels when we exhale out the carbon dioxide, and it gives the oxygenated blood, so the oxygen into this capillary in a liquid form. So when we convert the gaseous form into liquid form in the alveoli, if you remember this from the respiratory system, that is done with the help of these capillaries as well. Inside our body, they are available also. Around our lungs, there are number of capillaries, many. So these are what? The blood vessels. In short, okay, arteries, veins, and capillaries. Now, we will speak about the third, that is blood. What does this blood consist of? This blood will consist of the plasma, then our red blood cells, our white blood cells, and our platelets. So the blood consists of the plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Here in the cardiovascular system, made up of these three main parts, we have seen about the heart with the 4 chambers, then the blood vessels, arteries, veins, and capillaries, and arteries and ventricles. We are now watching about the blood, that is plasma, RBCs, WBCs, and the platelets. So what is this plasma made up of? Plasma, write it down, is the yellowish liquid that when it looks like when we separate from the blood. Nowadays, here in this time, lot of plasma is also needed. So what is the role of the plasma? When we separate the plasma from the blood, write it down, it carries the water and the protein to the different parts of the body. So it carries the water, salt, enzymes as well. It carries all the nutrients, hormones, and proteins to the different parts of the body. This is what the role of the plasma. Contains the salts and the enzymes helpful to carry or to transport the proteins, hormones, and nutrients to the different parts of the body. These plasma also helpful in transporting like the waste products from our cells taken away by the plasma. So like the waste products in our cells are also taken away by the plasma from the blood. That is what the role of the plasma in transporting these nutrients, hormones, and proteins, also the waste products in our body. Then, about the red blood cells. Where are these red blood cells made? In our bone marrow. When these red blood cells made in the bone marrow, it also contains a protein, but this protein is known as hemoglobin. If you have heard this word, hemoglobin, what is this hemoglobin? It is what? Which carries our oxygen. So hemoglobin carries our oxygen from the lungs to the different parts of the body. So hemoglobin, which is inside our blood, carries the oxygenated kind of blood or the oxygen cells from the lungs to the different parts of the body. So like when we suffer or when the person suffers from the disease known as anemia, if you have heard this disease anemia, that time there are lack of red blood cells. So that is the loss of blood is been that disease known as anemia. So lack of RBCs you find in your blood cells. So that duty is what? To carry the oxygen. The lack of oxygen will make a patient of anemia in the blood. About the white blood cells. To speak about the white blood cells, you already know to fight against the infections. To fight against the infections and disease in our body, there are the white blood cells. This is the only role to build up our immune system or our immunity. The white blood cells are been present in our blood. And what about the platelets? Platelets are also from the bone marrow, which helps to stop the blood, or when we have a cut in our part of the body, the clotting of the blood is being done with the help of the platelets. So when we have that platelet, the role of the platelet in our blood is to stop bleeding. When we have a bleeding or a wound, so to heal it quickly, so it helps to heal the wound quickly with the number of platelets. That means it stops or it clots the blood to flow away. Like this are the platelets in our blood. Plasma to carry or to transport all the nutrients, hormones, and proteins. Red blood cells carry the oxygen here from the lungs to the body, that is RBCs. White blood cells to fight against the infection in our body. Platelets here for the blood clotting purpose or to heal the wound quickly. Clear or got it in short about the three main parts about the heart, blood vessels, and blood? Okay, we'll proceed further after watching these three main parts. Now, we're gonna see how does this circulatory system work. So how does this heart, blood vessels, and the blood together make the circulatory system, and how the blood is being supplied to the parts of the body, and how the blood is taken back from the different parts of the body by this cardiovascular muscle or the system that is heart. So here we will write down the circulatory loop. So where is our heart located? Actually in the center. There is upper body, there is lower body. So in this circulatory loop circuit diagrammatic representation in this circulatory loop, we will put the heart in the center in a square. This is a circuit diagram. Now I will not draw the shape of the heart here. Here we will define our, I will draw it little bit low. Here we will define our body. So all the parts of the body, upper body and lower body, we will define it here. Here we will define the lungs and below. So we'll define the lungs over down. We will prefer the body to keep it up, and we will prefer the heart to keep in center. Instead of writing upper body, lower body, and drawing two lungs at two sides of the heart, we just take these two lungs from the side and made it one separate section for the lungs. Instead of showing you the two different parts of the body, that is upper body and lower body, I have just made here one separate section for the body, one separate section for these two lungs, and one separate section for the heart. Where in our heart, please make sure you concentrate now. Here there are four chambers, the right side and the left side. So in the left side, I will denote as L. And at the right side, I will denote it as R. So what are the upper chambers of the heart? Atrium. So we have left atrium, right atrium A. What are the lower chambers of the heart? Ventricle. So I will denote here LV, left ventricle, RV, right ventricle. Okay. Now, what happens in the circulatory loop or the circuit diagram? The deoxygenated blood from the body. So our body, which contains the impure form of the blood first, that is being given to the right atrium of the heart. Why? Because atriums are receiving chambers. They receive from the body or the lungs, but ventricles are discharging chambers. So from the body, there the deoxygenated blood is being given to the right atrium. Is being given to the right atrium, and this blood vessel is known as vena cava. Vena cava. What does it mean by vena cava? That means all the veins from our body feed into this vena cava. All these veins in our body feed into the vena cava. And what is the role of the vein? The role of the veins is to carry the deoxygenated blood here from the body to the heart. Okay, so from the body to the heart, all the veins are being inserted into the vena cava, feed into the vena cava, and vena cava carries this to the right atrium. The impure blood, which is not pure. Now, from the right atrium, this blood moves down to the right ventricle. Straight, it will move down to the right ventricle. And from the right ventricle, this blood, which is deoxygenated, will be given to the lungs. So, the deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle is being given to the lungs. This is done with the help of pulmonary artery. This is done with the help of pulmonary artery. If you will see and check the definition of arteries, what does it say? Arteries carry oxygenated blood from the heart to the different parts of the body. But except pulmonary artery, I told you before, where it will carry the same deoxygenated blood. All the arteries carry the oxygenated rich blood, but pulmonary artery will be carrying this deoxygenated blood only from the right ventricle now to the lungs. What is the role of the lungs when we breathe in oxygen? The role of the lungs is now to clean this deoxygenated blood so that to make it pure, to make it convert it into oxygenated blood now. So from deoxygenated blood converted into oxygenated blood with the help of this lungs, which will carry our oxygen when we breathe. So cardiovascular system slightly connected to our respiratory system. So we have the capillaries around these lungs. Now, here in our lungs, the blood is purified. I will write it down here. The blood is purified around with the help of capillaries. And this is given where? From the lungs. It will go. I will draw with the blue marker. So now the blood is converted. This will be the blue. It is oxygenated rich blood. The black diagram, the deoxygenated blood. The blue line indicates the blood is now oxygenated. It will enter into our left atrium. Why left atrium? Only because atriums are receiving chambers and ventricles, lower chambers are discharging. So they will only discharge. So even from the lungs, when the blood gets oxygenated, it will again enter into our left atrium top. That is done with the help of pulmonary vein. So here, pulmonary vein, which will carry our oxygenated blood from the lungs to the heart. But what is the definition of the veins? Which carries only deoxygenated blood from the body to the heart, that before, except pulmonary vein, which will carry from these lungs to the heart oxygenated blood. So pulmonary vein is defined oppositely apart from the vein. Similarly, pulmonary artery is exactly opposite of all the rest of the arteries, their functions. Now, the blood which is in the left atrium where it will go to the left ventricle straight down. And from the left ventricle, these are known as discharging chambers. It will go back to the body. Got it? So from the left ventricle, it will go back to the body with the main blood vessel known as aorta. So all the arteries will stem out from the aorta. Here, I will write oxygenated blood. I will repeat. Aorta is what? A main blood vessel. From that blood vessel, all the arteries will emerge out. Here we have written vena cava, where all the veins feed or insert into this vena cava. But aorta is what? Where all the arteries will emerge out from this aorta. So deoxygenated blood from the body, from the veins are being given to this vena cava, and to this vena cava we carry it to our right atrium of the heart. From the right atrium, it will straight move down to the right ventricle. Now the role of the ventricle is to discharge. That means it will give the blood to the lungs first. This deoxygenated blood from the body, which has been carried to the lungs, now will get oxygenated, will get purified, and again this lungs, with the help of the pulmonary vein, will provide this now purified blood or oxygenated blood into left atrium, because atriums are receiving chambers. From this left atrium, now the heart has gave this blood back to the body. So to keep this blood back to the body, the blood will be first going into the left ventricle, and from the left ventricle, the role is what? To discharge the blood. Ventricles only discharge, atriums only receive. So the ventricles will give it back to all the parts of the body, upper body, lower body. This is what? The circulatory system in the cardiovascular connection. Anything you want to ask over here? Or is it clear? Can you tell me?
Yeah, clear.
Nice to hear from you, Rekha. The rest of the two?
Yes, clear.
Great. So here, it is much easy in the circulatory system. This circuit diagram, with the help of the circuit diagram, just made it easy to understand the concept about the body, heart, and the lungs when we have drawn separately. So what we have seen up till now, many systems about the digestive, respiratory, skeletal, muscular, and the circulatory system. Along with that, we have seen some of the therapies with the cells, tissues, and organs, about the bone joints. Today, it will be the last time we will be studying all, or we have completed the systems. Tomorrow will be the last class for your group. From my side, then again we will join from the October, hopefully. That is the future. But we will all revise what we have studied, and I will give some guidance to you in your tomorrow's class. So as a teacher, as a professional teacher, what we should do and what we should follow in our life, how to treat our students in our life, the important part than the whiteboard that you will get it tomorrow. Some basic things that we should know. It is easy to say, but difficult to follow as a teacher, as a human being. So we will study that also in tomorrow's class. We will chant Om one time and end up this class for today. So eyes closed, back and spine straight. Take a long breath in and chant Om one time. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much, people, all of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Sir,
Yes, Shilpa.
sir, you are teacher in Iyengar. You are.
Why?
You are. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, your voice is a bit low.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you, but a bit low voice.
Okay. I want to ask. You are a teacher in Iyengar. You said you were doing Iyengar since from 4 years.
No, 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 no. No, not Iyengar. My mom was an Iyengar teacher, but now I am a Hatha Yoga teacher. I do practice all this time,
Okay. Are you
but
located in Pune?
yeah, based in Pune as well. But I teach in Rishikesh and the different cities.
Okay. Okay.
The base is in Pune. Yes.
Okay. So what's your name, sir? Full name?
Shubham Dhumal.
Yubham Dhumal.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow, both of you. Thank you.